respected. If you keep waiting for someone to rescue you, one day you may wake up and realize your entire life passed while you were standing at the window, hoping for help that was never coming. The truth you need to hear today may hurt, but it can also set you free. Nobody is coming to save you, and the moment you accept that truth is the moment your life begins to change. There comes a moment in every person's life when the excuses stop working, a moment when the blame no longer feels satisfying, a moment when the finger you've been pointing at the world slowly turns back toward yourself. Most people spend years waiting for the right opportunity, waiting for the right relationship, waiting for the perfect time, waiting for someone to believe in them, waiting for a miracle. But while they wait, life keeps moving. The clock doesn't stop. The years don't pause. The opportunities don't stand still. And one day they look around and wonder where all the time went. I want to tell you a story. Imagine a young man sitting in a small room. The paint is peeling from the walls. The bills are stacked on the table. His dreams are bigger than his circumstances, but every day he wakes up feeling trapped. He keeps telling himself that someone will notice him. Someone will give him a chance. Someone will open a door. Someone will see his potential. Months pass, then years. Nothing changes. Not because he lacked talent. Not because he lacked intelligence. Not because he lacked potential. Nothing changed because he believed his future was somebody else's responsibility. And that's where millions of people get stuck. They hand over control of their lives without realizing it. They give their happiness to other people. They give their confidence to other people. They give their future to other people. Then they wonder why they feel powerless. The day your life changes is the day you stop expecting somebody else to carry a weight that belongs to you. Think about it. Nobody can wake up for you. Nobody can discipline themselves for you. Nobody can take your risks for you. Nobody can fight your battles for you. People can support you. People can encourage you. People can guide you. But nobody can walk your path. That responsibility belongs to you. One of the hardest lessons life teaches is that nobody owes you success. The world doesn't owe you understanding. It doesn't owe you recognition. It doesn't owe you a chance. That may sound harsh, but hidden inside that truth is incredible freedom. Because if nobody owes you success, then your future isn't controlled by their approval. If nobody owes you a chance, then you can create your own opportunity. If nobody owes you belief, then you can learn to believe in yourself. You stop becoming a victim of circumstances. You become a creator of circumstances. Many people spend their lives waiting for confidence before they take action. But confidence doesn't come first. Action comes first. A baby doesn't learn to walk because it feels confident. A baby learns to walk because it falls. Again and again, hundreds of times. The confidence comes after the struggle. The confidence comes after the failures. The confidence comes after the embarrassment. Yet adults do the opposite. They tell themselves they'll start when they're ready. They'll begin when they feel confident. They'll chase the dream when fear disappears. But fear never disappears. Fear simply loses power when action becomes stronger. Every successful person you've ever admired faced fear. Every entrepreneur, every athlete, every leader, every dreamer. The difference is not that they were fearless. The difference is that they moved anyway. I remember hearing stories about people who started with almost nothing. No money, no connections, no special advantages, just determination. And what separated them from everyone else wasn't luck. It was responsibility. They looked at their lives and said, "This is mine, not my parents, not my friends, not society's, mine." And when you truly accept ownership, something remarkable happens. Complaining becomes less attractive. Excuses become less convincing. Procrastination becomes harder to justify. Because deep down, you know the results you've good are connected to the choices you've been making. That realization can feel uncomfortable, but growth often begins with discomfort. A seed must break before it becomes a tree. A caterpillar must leave its old form before it becomes a butterfly, and you must let go of the comforting illusion that someone is coming to rescue you, because they aren't. The promotion isn't coming to your doorstep. The dream body isn't arriving in the mail. The successful future isn't hiding around the corner waiting to surprise you. Those things are built, one decision at a time, one habit at a time, one difficult day at a time. You don't need a savior. You need a decision to stop waiting, a decision to stop blaming, a decision to stop giving your power away, because the life you want is on the other side of responsibility. The moment you stop waiting for someone else to change your circumstances is the moment you begin changing them yourself. And that is where true transformation begins. Not when somebody saves you, but when you finally realize you can save yourself. There is a reason so many people never reach their potential. It is not because they lack ability. It is not because they lack intelligence. It is because they have become comfortable with waiting. Waiting becomes a habit, and habits are dangerous because after a while, they start to feel normal. You wait for motivation before you work. You wait for confidence before you speak. You wait for certainty before you act. You wait for the perfect conditions before you begin. Then years pass, and what felt like waiting becomes your entire life. I want you to imagine standing at a train station. Every dream you've ever had is on the other side of the tracks. The train arrives every day. Doors open. Opportunities appear. But because you're afraid, you stay standing on the platform. Tomorrow, you tell yourself, next week, next month, next year. The train leaves. Another arrives. Then another. Then another. And before you know it, you've spent years watching opportunities disappear into the distance. The painful truth is that life rewards movement, not intentions, not wishes, not promises, movement. The people who succeed are rarely the people who know everything. They're usually the people willing to move before they feel ready. Think about some of the greatest moments in your life, the biggest opportunities, the most meaningful relationships, the most important decisions. Were you completely prepared? Probably not. Most life-changing moments arrive disguised as uncertainty. Most breakthroughs arrive disguised as risk. Most victories begin with doubt. That's why courage matters so much. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's moving while fear sits beside you. Many people believe their biggest problem is lack of resources, but often the real problem is lack of responsibility. Because responsibility forces you to stop focusing on what you don't have and start using what you do have. Maybe you don't have the perfect job. Maybe you don't have wealthy parents. Maybe you don't have powerful connections. Maybe life has been unfair. But what are you going to do about it? That question changes everything. Because the moment you ask that question, you stop being a spectator and become a participant. Life has never been fair. Some people begin 10 steps ahead. Others begin 10 steps behind. But regardless of where you start, the road forward still requires your feet. Nobody can walk it for you. I once heard a story about a man who spent years blaming everyone around him. He blamed his family. He blamed his boss. He blamed his circumstances. He blamed his childhood. Every conversation sounded the same. Every failure was somebody else's fault. Then one day, after years of frustration, he looked in the mirror and asked himself a question he had avoided his entire life. What if the problem isn't them? That question changed him, because suddenly he stopped looking outward. He looked inward, and that's where real power lives. The world teaches us to focus on external things, money, recognition, status, approval. But the strongest people in the world have learned something different. Your greatest asset is your ability to control yourself, not your circumstances. Yourself. Can you keep going when nobody is cheering? Can you stay disciplined when nobody is watching? Can you remain committed when results are invisible? That is where greatness is born. Anybody can work when they feel inspired. Anybody can chase a goal when things are easy. Anybody can stay positive when life is going their way, but character is revealed when life becomes difficult. Character is revealed when the excitement fades. Character is revealed when quitting feels reasonable. Because there will be days when nothing goes your way. Days when you work hard and see no progress. Days when rejection shows up at your door. Days when you question everything. Those are the days that matter most. Because those are the days when you discover who you really are. Anyone can dream. Few people persist. Anyone can start. Few people continue. Anyone can talk. Few people act. The gap between the life you have and the life you want is often hidden inside the things your nits are avoiding. The difficult conversation, the early mornings, the uncomfortable discipline, the personal responsibility, the sacrifice. Most people spend years searching for a secret, a shortcut, a magic formula, but the secret has always been the same. Show up again and again and again, especially when you don't feel like it. Success isn't built in dramatic moments. It's built in ordinary moments, repeated consistently. The workout nobody saw, the extra hour nobody noticed, the effort nobody applauded, the discipline nobody celebrated. These are the moments that quietly build extraordinary lives. And here's something powerful. The moment you stop expecting rescue, you start discovering strength you never knew you had. You become resourceful. You become resilient. You become determined. Because necessity awakens abilities comfort never can. When there is nobody coming to save you, something incredible happens. You begin saving yourself. You stop waiting for confidence and start creating it. You stop waiting for opportunities and start building them. You stop waiting for permission and start giving it to yourself. And little by little, your entire identity changes. You no longer see yourself as someone trapped by circumstances. You begin seeing yourself as someone capable of overcoming them. That shift is everything. Because before your life changes externally, it must change internally. Before your results change, your mindset must change. Before your future changes, your beliefs must change. And the belief that changes everything is this: you are far stronger than you've been allowing yourself to believe. The strength you're searching for is not out there somewhere. It's already inside you, waiting to be activated, waiting to be tested, waiting to be trusted. And the moment you stop looking for a hero outside yourself, you finally discover the hero that has been living within you all along. The most dangerous thing about wasted potential is that it rarely feels dangerous in the moment. It feels comfortable. It feels safe. It feels reasonable. That's why so many people never realize they're drifting until they've traveled miles away from the life they once dreamed about. Nobody wakes up one morning and decides to give up on their future. It happens slowly, one excuse at a time, one delay at a time, one postponed decision at a time. The dream doesn't disappear overnight. It fades quietly. And if you're not paying attention, you can lose years without even noticing. Imagine a man standing at the edge of the ocean, holding a boat. The boat represents his dreams, his future, his purpose, his potential. Every day he talks about sailing. He studies sailing. He watches videos about sailing. He tells everyone how much he wants to sail, but he never unties the rope. Years later, the boat is still there. The ocean is still there. The dream is still there. But the opportunity has grown smaller because time has moved forward. Many people live exactly this way. They confuse preparation with action. They confuse planning with progress. They confuse dreaming with doing. But dreams only become reality when movement begins. You cannot think your way into a different life. At some point, you must act your way into one. That action won't always be comfortable. In fact, most meaningful growth feels uncomfortable. When you start exercising, your muscles ache. When you start learning, your mind struggles. When you start changing, your habits fight back. Discomfort is not evidence that you're failing. Discomfort is often evidence that you're growing. The problem is that most people run from discomfort. They interpret resistance as a sign to stop. But successful people understand something different. Resistance is often proof that you're heading in the right direction. Every level of your life requires a different version of you. The person you are today cannot always carry you where you want to go tomorrow. That's why growth demands change, and change demands courage. There will come moments when you outgrow old habits, moments when you outgrow old fears, moments when you even outgrow certain environments. Those moments are not easy, because growth often requires leaving behind what is familiar. And human beings naturally cling to familiarity, even when familiarity is hurting them, even when familiarity is limiting them, even when familiarity is stealing their future. Think about how many people stay in situations they know are no longer serving them, not because they're happy, not because they're thriving, but because they're afraid of the unknown. Fear has a way of making cages feel safe, but safety is not always freedom. Sometimes the safest place is the very place preventing your growth. The truth is that your future requires bravery, not perfection, bravery. You don't need all the answers. You don't need guarantees. You don't need certainty. You need willingness. A willingness to move despite doubt. A willingness to try despite fear. A willingness to continue despite setbacks. One of the greatest lies people tell themselves is, "I'll start tomorrow." Tomorrow is a seductive word. Tomorrow sounds harmless. Tomorrow sounds responsible. Tomorrow sounds logical. But for many people, tomorrow becomes a permanent address, a place they live for years, a place where dreams go to wait, a place where goals slowly die. Life is happening now, not next year, not someday, not eventually, now. The person you become tomorrow is being shaped by the choices you make today. Every decision matters. Every habit matters. Every hour matters. Because small actions repeated consistently create massive outcomes. A tiny course correction today can completely change your destination years from now. That's why you must stop underestimating the power of small beginnings. Many people refuse to start because they cannot start big. But every giant tree began as a seed. Every champion began as a beginner. Every success story began with uncertainty. Nobody starts extraordinary. They become extraordinary through persistence. The world celebrates the victory, but it rarely sees the sacrifice behind it. The sleepless nights, the lonely mornings, the repeated failures, the self-doubt, the perseverance. People see the finished product. They don't see the thousands of moments that created it. That's why comparison is so dangerous. You compare your beginning to somebody else's middle. You compare your struggle to somebody else's success. You compare your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 20. And in doing so, you forget something important. Their journey is not your journey. Your path is uniquely yours. Your responsibility is not to become somebody else. Your responsibility is to become the best version of yourself, not the version your friends expect, not the version society demands, not the version fear prefers. The best version of you, the version capable of fulfilling the purpose hidden inside you. Because deep down, you know there's more in you. You know it. You can feel it. There are dreams you haven't chased, talents you haven't developed, goals you haven't committed to, potential you haven't fully explored. And every day that you ignore that calling, a part of you feels it. A part of you knows you're meant for more. Not necessarily more money, not necessarily more status, but more growth, more purpose, more contribution, more courage. The tragedy of life is not failure. The tragedy of life is reaching the end and realizing you never truly tried. Realizing fear made too many decisions for you. Realizing comfort stole too many years from you. Realizing you spent your life waiting for a rescue that was never coming. Because the truth has always been the same. Nobody is coming. And that's not bad news. It's the most empowering news you'll ever hear. Because if nobody is coming, then the power has been yours all along. If nobody is coming, then your future is still in your hands. If nobody is coming, then today can be the day everything changes. The day you stop waiting, the day you stop hiding, the day you stop doubting, the day you finally decide that the person responsible for changing your life is staring back at you every single morning in the mirror. As this message comes to an end, I want you to remember one thing. The purpose of these words was never to make you feel afraid. It was never to make you feel alone. It was never to convince you that the world is against you. The purpose was to wake you up, because once you understand that nobody is coming to save you, something extraordinary happens. You stop waiting. You stop making excuses. You stop handing over control of your future, and you begin taking ownership of the one life you've been given. Think about how powerful that is. For years, you may have believed your breakthrough depended on someone else, a boss, a friend, a partner, a family member, a lucky opportunity. But what if your breakthrough has been waiting for you all along? What if the door you've been praying would open is actually one you're supposed to push? What if the strength you've been searching for has been inside you this entire time? Life will challenge you. There will be setbacks. There will be disappointments. There will be moments when you feel exhausted. Moments when you question your progress. Moments when giving up seems easier than continuing. When those moments come, remember this. You have survived every difficult day that has brought you here. Every obstacle, every heartbreak, every rejection, every failure. You are still standing. That means there is already proof of strength inside you. You are stronger than your excuses, stronger than your fears, stronger than your past, stronger than the voice that tells you to quit. The next chapter of your life will not be written by luck. It will be written by decisions. The decision to wake up earlier, the decision to work harder, the decision to stay disciplined, the decision to believe in yourself when nobody else does, the decision to keep moving forward even when progress feels slow. Never forget that great lives are not built in a single day. They are built day by day, choice by choice, habit by habit, moment by moment. You don't need to become a completely different person overnight. You simply need to take the next step, then another, then another. Eventually, those small steps become miles. Those miles become a journey, and that journey becomes a life you can be proud of. So today, make a promise to yourself. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for rescue. Stop waiting for a future that only action can create. The time is now. The responsibility is yours. The opportunity is yours. The choice is yours. Years from now, when you look back on this moment, I hope you remember that this was the day you decided to take control. The day you stopped being a spectator in your own story. The day you became the author, because nobody is coming to save you. But here's the beautiful truth. You don't need anyone to. You have courage. You have determination. You have resilience. You have everything necessary to begin. And beginning is all that is required. So stand up. Take the first step. Trust the process. Believe in your potential. And keep moving forward, no matter how slow the progress seems. One day you'll look back at the person you are today and thank yourself for refusing to quit. Thank yourself for refusing to wait. Thank yourself for choosing growth over comfort. And when that day comes, you'll realize that the greatest rescue of your life happened the moment you decided to save yourself. Now go forward with confidence. Go forward with purpose. Go forward with faith. And remember, your future is not waiting for someone else. Your future is waiting for you.